Nigerians, I want to thank you this morning for joining us this wonderful day on our program Issues on AF Television under the platform of AF News. I want to thank you again for joining us this wonderful morning. Over the weekend, it has been trending. Obasanjo, former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo has spoken again, and everywhere is hot, everywhere is shaking. And this morning we are here to discuss these issues with you. Do you think that what Obasanjo said over the weekend, do you think is okay? Do you think is not okay? This is where to deliberate the issue this morning. Obasanjo said Nigeria is becoming a failed nation. Nigeria is becoming the capital of poverty. Nigeria economy has been wrecked. That is what former president of this great country, Nigeria, said. President Olusegun Obasanjo is speaking. He's saying that the worst of everything happened under the presidency of President Muhammadu Buhari. So this morning, that's what we'll be focused on. And as usual, I have my in-house guest, my very articulate in-house guest, the man that knows the facts and the figures on every issue, on almost every issue. I have with me the person of Kelechi Imo.
Morning.
Kelechi Imo, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I remain Emenike Irebu, the anchor of this show. This morning, we are discussing what Obasanjo said. What Obasanjo OBJ, the controversial OBJ. We are discussing what the controversial OBJ said. That is what we'll be discussing this morning. Let's go immediately to the news and see what exactly OBJ said. We need to see it. If you are not on www.afnews.ng, that means you are not ready to read news. The one-stop shop for every news content. www.afnews is the place. Once you get there, that's where you get all the latest updates. So we are going direct to www.afnews this morning. Let us see exactly what OBJ said. Let's read it out for you to hear. Yes. Obasanjo said the former Nigerian president Olusegun Obasanjo has said Nigeria is gradually aging towards being a failed nation, divided state, and the poverty capital of the world. Mr. Obasanjo, who said this, said he has never seen the country in such a bad state. Blame the current state of the country on poor management of the nation's diversity. People have been asking different questions. People have asked, when Obasanjo was in power, what did he do to ameliorate, to bring together, to reduce the differences we have in this country? Because since when he was in power, we've been having differences. What has he done? Some people have said, why must you talk about Obasanjo's regime? His own has passed. We are talking about what is happening now. So this morning, we want you to discuss with us. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you think. This is a time for discussion. Don't miss this great discussion this morning. I am still with my guest in the studio. Let us ask him and know what he thinks. What is his view? What does he think generally? Before we go to the issues of today. Yes, what do you think generally concerning this position of former President Olusegun Obasanjo?
Good morning, yes. Obasanjo, if you know him, he's someone who tells you his mind. He doesn't fear anybody. Of course, he's an old man. He has been everything. He has been president. He has been everything. So, judging from the way the whole country is at the moment, he said the truth. That's just the truth. Okay. The economy after was it which it was on record that Nigeria was registered recently as the poverty capital of the world, and that is not good news. That's stating the obvious.
Where was it registered? Where is your facts?
Was it? I saw it on. I'm trying to remember the platform I saw that day. It wasn't Amnesty International. I've forgotten. I'm trying to recall now. But he's just stating the obvious. Okay. The point is that everybody, the whole nation, is not really happy with the current administration. Because this was not the change we planned. This was not the change Nigerians thought they would see. Look at how much dollar is to a naira. This is part of the problem we are having. The personality in question is Obasanjo, and he's raising a lot of dust because it's an Obasanjo who said it. Okay, the country is experiencing some very serious hard times, and we don't need to start blaming anybody. We don't need to start drawing referrals. What we need to start at this point is to draw solutions. What can we do to ameliorate the already heightened problems? That is my take.
Okay, my guest is saying, what can we do? What can we do to ameliorate the current worsening situation of the country? That's what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. We have different views on this show, you know. So he's saying that Obasanjo is on point. Kelechi Imo is saying that Obasanjo is on point. We need to know what you are saying. Do you think OBJ, the former president of Nigeria, do you believe that he's also on point to call us, to send your SMS, so send your WhatsApp messages? The number to do that is attached just below there. You will see the number 090 3332 9775. That is the magic number. With that number, you can call into the studio, you can send us SMS, you can send us WhatsApp messages, and we will immediately, as fast respond to you. We are here to discuss details. Yes, Olusegun Obasanjo said Nigeria is becoming a failed state. Can we know the indices
of a failed state? Well, I will not call Nigeria a failed state, okay?
Well, of course, it is not calling it. It says becoming,
okay? Because I can remember there was a time in this program, a caller or somebody on social media called Nigeria a failed state. I said, this Nigeria is not a failed state. It's not gradually becoming a failed state. People like you and I can't be in this country. This country will become a failed state. It's not possible.
Okay.
It's not possible. Okay, because when you want to have a typical example of a failed state, you Google Somalia. You read about Somalia. Okay, but anyway, Obasanjo is saying this based on how the country is. You have a high level of insecurity. This whole idea of saying this insecurity has been there, it's not an issue. This is the first time we are having this kind of insecurity we are having now. There is no hope. The masses do not have hope in government for anything to change, because the government has given us that impression that they are only shock absorbers and not solutions. Anything that happens, you say, the president receives it with shock. The president was in shock. He is always in shock. And many Nigerians start turning it into a joke that he has a very huge, strong shock absorber. Okay? So based on this, because it's supposed to be, this is the first time we are hearing that the president will give a directive, and somebody somewhere who is not even in the presidency, as they say, will flag that order. Look at what Magu, look at the challenge he's facing. He says he wants to be on live camera for Nigerians to know, and somebody out there is obstructing the instructions of the presidency, even when the president has given a directive. So you now discover it's as if we're a country without a leader. These are just why I want to assume that former president is not making these statements out of hate for anybody. He's not making this president because he's not making these statements because he sees himself as a perfect person. No, Obasanjo is not a perfect person. But if you must acknowledge Obasanjo, no matter your disagreements with Obasanjo led this country in his time. He has his problems, but Obasanjo led this country as the president of Nigeria, not as president of the Yoruba race. No, president of the Hausa.
Are you saying that the current president is leading Nigeria as the president of where?
If you see the body language, as they say, as the current president, you see a lot of nepotism. Look at in the appointments. That is why every Southeast, both these people are agitating for what do you call the IPOB. That is why they are all crying. Look at the list of the service chiefs. You now look at that, there is this high level of nepotism. There is no, It's not a collective something. This is why people like Nnamdi Kanu will start saying this country does not belong to all of us. It's as if this particular contraption is for some people. So these are some of the indices Obasanjo saw and said, no, this is not the country that our forefathers wanted us to have. And President Moore is even more painful that is coming from somebody who we are aware that is supposed to know the country more than any other person. Because he has been a military ruler. Mm-hmm. And God gave him the grace. He also became a civilian president. So he is well informed about the country. And if there is a best man or a best president to actually put the country in order, it is somebody like President Buhari, because he fought the war. He saw how the war was. And he saw how many people who died. He saw how the whole thing ended. Now God has given him the grace. He's now a civilian president. I think he ought to have done better. And I believe I'm not speaking on behalf of Obasanjo, but I'm just thinking like an ordinary Nigerian. The Obasanjo statement is not that of hate. He's saying this based on what Nigerians are expecting of the president is not what they are getting, and that's too bad.
What Nigerians are expecting from the president is not what they are getting. That is too bad. That is what Kelechi Imo is telling us this morning. He said what Nigerians, what he feels Nigerians are expecting from the government is not what they are seeing. That is what Kelechi Imo is saying. And let's go on to what Obasanjo said. Obasanjo said, I do appreciate that all feel sad and embarrassed as most of us feel as Nigerians with the situation we find ourselves today. Today, Nigeria is fast drifting to a failed and badly divided state. Economically, our country is becoming a basket case and poverty capital of the world. And socially, we are framing up as an unwholesome and insecure country. So, let's look at this area first. Economically, Obasanjo has said that Nigeria is gradually becoming a basket case and a poverty capital of the world. Do you think that is actually true?
Before we came into the studio, we saw on the sister channel that health workers are trying to embark on strike.
Yes.
Good. This is part of the problem. A country that cannot meet the economic needs of her citizens is gradually becoming a failed state. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Okay? Yes, the pandemic came and even crippled the little one we had. And it is so annoying that you hear billions of naira being spent on feeding school children that were in their houses during this lockdown. What is the rationale behind it? I saw on cable news, that Nigerians are finding it difficult to pay back trader money, forgetting that they were giving it to it. The money was given to them on loan initially. My brother, even federal government, how would they even extract that money from them? Because this money was not even paid.
But let's look at the facts as is on the table now. Mm-hmm. Is this government not making deliberate effort to see how to remove Nigeria from poverty? Is that what you're saying?
Even if they are making deliberate efforts, as you will, we are not seeing it. At least not yet. Even if they are making deliberate efforts, we are not seeing it. All we are seeing is people angry, people doing there's no coordination.
How would you say there's no coordination? We have a minister for finance, we have an economic team, the state, the federal government have a blueprint of the economic plan, and what they say they are. So where is the division? Where is the disagreement?
We can have all these beautiful, well-planned things. What Nigerians are asking is for results. At the moment, we are not getting it. There's no point being sentimental about it. I'm not a government appointee.
So are we not supposed to give the government more time, so that because when you begin to implement an idea, it takes time for you to begin to eat fruit?
What time again? What time again? What time? And you know one thing about this government.
But hold on. sometimes we begin to talk. I think we should need to get this facts straight. This government brought in economic activities to see how to increase employment. They have brought in their youth empowerment programs where youths are given jobs through the Empower or Get About program. A lot of youths were opportunity to get jobs there, and they were paid for close to 1 year. Where they've done trader money, like we talk about trader money. They have done different kind of programs like this. At the moment, they have social security packages. What exactly you think that this government has not done well?
Let them industrialize Nigeria, create employment. Create employment. See, there's this money. All these monies we are getting, billions of naira. For example, this school feeding program or whatever you call it, does it really make sense?
Of course. You need to also see the research that brought about the idea of school feeding. The idea is that there are so many people, so many unprivileged people or less privileged people who don't come to school because there is nothing to eat. But with food alone in school, they can be attracted to go to school and study. And they have given us results that because of school feeding, that the number of school intakes have shot up. Yes.
In the north?
Yes.
Okay, not here. Now,
of course, so the state government here in Abia are also doing school feeding.
Wonderful. But that is not the reason. Okay, that's a beautiful idea, okay? That's a short-term plan. Alright? This Abacha loot we hear of, wouldn't it be nice that this money should be, let's say, in the southeast, for example, let us build one working refinery or one working industry. In the southwest, the same thing. In the northeast, just like that. In all the geopolitical zones, we have something significant. Don't you think it will create a lot of employment?
A lot of government are leaving investment into critical areas. They are bringing in investors to do that. Do you want government to go back?
How can
refineries in this country have never worked, even when it was PDP that was in government.
Now, look at the area of investors. How can investors come in here when the land is not even secured?
Okay, we are still here. We have comments here on our comment section. We have Iken Namwachukwu. He said openly stating the long kept secret. That is what he said. Obasanjo is openly stating the long kept secret. We have Julius. Julius said this is a failed country. Please, we have Innocent. Innocent saying this man talking is from where? Which of us? Which are you talking about? Both of us are here from Abia, so I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Innocent. If you have something to say what you want to say and stop asking who is who. Yeah, let's go back to what we are saying. Obasanjo said that this Nigeria is fast drifting to a failed and badly divided state. What do you think he meant by badly divided state?
Because there is no unity. Okay.
Don't we still have it even when he was in government? We still have the effort when he was in government.
Look at the word he used, badly.
So that is time it wasn't badly as it is now.
Yes. That's what it means.
But of course, you know that division or disagreement degenerates from stage to stage. If when he was a president, he could not stop it, he could not address those issues, of course it would degenerate over time.
But he controlled it. Now look at it. This is a country where we've constantly, even the National Assembly, the Senate, everybody has constantly said this. Remove service chiefs. Remove the current service chiefs and replace them with new ones. It does appear that they've exhausted all possible strategies. Let there be a fresh blood. A lot of people have said this. And this government has constantly, I say, never had listened to Nigerians. They come up with reasons why they should also be kept there. For how long? When you don't give your people that sense of responsibility, this is always the reaction of your people. It's not about Obasanjo. You can go ahead and say a lot of things about Obasanjo, but this is not an Obasanjo issue. Why Obasanjo came up is because he said it. A lot of us have said it behind the scenes. Okay? But because an Obasanjo said it, it's not an issue. This is stating the obvious. These statements like this from people like him should not bring about comparison. Rather, it should make the current government come up and fasten their seatbelt to work more.
You cannot remove comparison. Because if probably Kelechi Imo is criticizing President Muhammadu Buhari, we are aware that Kelechi Imo had never had an opportunity to set the record straight. We are aware Kelechi Imo have not been in the position like Buhari is
Yes, yeah.
to fix those things that he thinks Buhari is not fixing properly. But when Kelechi Imo had a shot as the president, he had become president for 8 years, and most of these issues that we're talking about now started from when he was president. Those things could not be addressed, could not be arrested, and now you are coming up to say that these people that are here now are not getting it right. Obviously, people will ask, what did you do when you were there to resolve these issues?
Obasanjo, if you know his system, there's no government that he has not written letter. In fact, I'm even surprised he's saying this. I expected it to be in a letter. 18-page letter, 20-page letter. There's no government he has not written to.
Is he a letter writing king?
Is the truth now. He stopped this letter writing. I don't know why he's not writing under this government.
Okay, let us still see what Obasanjo is saying. He's still saying something. He's still saying more and more and more. He said, and these manifestations are the products of recent mismanagement of diversity and socio-economic development of our country. Old fault lines that were disappearing have opened up in greater fusor with drums of hatred, disintegration, and separation, and accompanying chorus being heard loud and clear almost everywhere. Addressing the leaders of the socio-cultural group at a meeting, Mr. Obasanjo said, if Nigerians are ready to live together in understanding, mutual respect and love with equity, justice and inclusiveness, while endangering sense of belonging and unity of purpose, internal issues of terrorism, organized crime, banditry, kidnapping, human trafficking, drug, money laundering and corruption will be dealt with.
See, Obasanjo is just saying, he's stating the obvious, okay? Now look at was it last week, on this program, we talked about our external debt. That was, it's about 31 billion US dollars, right? I hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
So look at it. How are we going to clear those debts? This was what, my lady, Totongozi tried to clear in her own time under Obasanjo. Now look at it. It's just like making a mess of the whole thing. Alright? Now, if you look at it, you now discover that we have a huge economic problem in our hands. This is where you start hearing rumors that it's as if Nigerians is trying to sell their sovereignty to China. Because it's as if in these loans, China is the biggest share. Are you getting it? So these are the issues. This is a government where somebody who is a cleric in a certain religion will come and issue some kind of statements on national television. And nobody goes to call him to order and say these statements are capable of dividing this country. This is a country where...
Let me ask this one very important question. Okay. Do you think that what the government of Buhari is doing at the moment in terms of appointment and other engagements, that they have been, the activities can promote division?
Can promote division, yes. In a hostile... Look at us now, okay? Assuming he tries to be all-involving in his appointments, he tries to be open in all his appointments, all these agitations won't come up. It gives people that sense of hope that in as much as we have our own problems, but then the president recognizes the fact that we cannot solve our problems without a collective effort. When you bring everybody in, like a father you are, and say, sit down here, let us all work together to ensure that this country works for everybody. Then you have a country that is working.
Okay, immediately after former President Olusegun Obasanjo released a statement, made a statement during a program recently in Abuja. The presidency has fired back. The presidency fired back, and he says Obasanjo is dividing Nigeria. He said Obasanjo is dividing Nigeria. The presidency has accused former President Olusegun Obasanjo of dividing Nigeria. An article signed by President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, made available to Daily Post, alleged that a recent statement by former president was an attempt to divide the nation. Garba was on Sunday claimed that President Muhammadu Buhari has continued to promote nation building and unity of Nigeria and maintained that the difference between the two leaders is clear. The difference is clear. The difference is clear from the lofty heights of Commander-in-Chief. General Obasanjo has descended to a lowly level of Divider-in-Chief to adapt the coinage of times. Before responding further to the unfair attack on President Buhari and his administration by former Prime President, it's important that we categorically state that contrary to the assertion by a few analysts, the recent speech in which the President Buhari advised South and West African presidents against tenure elongation beyond constitutional limits has been consistent with his long-held views on the need to adhere to the rule of law. Even though he tried it and failed, the recent uptick in the number of such leaders proposing to do or actually carrying out in the office beyond term limit is sufficient to cause concern among Democrats. President Buhari President Buhari's advocacy is consistent with the principle and in line with the current policies of the administration, and indeed that of the ECOWAS Charter, which is that term limits must be respected and that the change of government is only permissible through the ballot box. Let's go straight to the issues that was raised. Having heard the misconception, we hope that Chief Obasanjo will once again shield the sword and rest the pretentious about the Messiah that has misled him to pronounce often wrongly, as he disastrously did in 2019 about his life and death of Nigerian government. As some commenters are already suggesting, Chief Obasanjo should, in accordance with his mantra as a statesman, get involved with problem solving when and where they exist, instead of helping the mushrooming of the poisonous atmosphere of ethnic and religious nationalism.
There was where I appreciated, everything he said. There was just where I appreciated it, that Obasanjo should concentrate in trying to solve this problem. Yes, I agree. Obasanjo, having been a former president, I'm sure he has the reach. I don't know the relationship between him and President Muhammadu Buhari. At this point, it should be all involving. The president should sit down, because Obasanjo seems to be more economically sound. He knows economics. Based on, if you look at all the people who worked with him when he was president.
He is good in bringing up the right team.
The right team, that's what I'm saying.
He is economically sound.
He's good at bringing out the right team. I think that's a fair language to use. Now, President Obasanjo should not teleguide, okay? Should guide President Muhammadu Buhari in choosing the right team to work.
The challenge has always been that, as a former president of his country, obviously, he has access to the president.
Yes.
Must every of his communication, every of his attempt to reach or to advise the president be public on the media?
That's one thing I don't really like, especially in Obasanjo's pattern. If you notice something, before we came here, I was talking about Jonathan. Jonathan hardly talks. But sometimes Jonathan will have a meeting with the president and he wouldn't even talk to the press. I'm sure in those meetings, outside the normal
bilateral issue.
Yes, there must be one or two things he has told the president to look out. So, Obasanjo is somebody who always also likes to be in the news, right? Because when he says things like this, he always states the obvious, but sometimes a sitting president will see it as that he's attacking the government. And sometimes it doesn't all go well. The president will not perceive it as though that the man has good intentions for him. So I think at this point, former President Olusegun Obasanjo should talk to President Muhammadu Buhari, one, as his president, two, as his boss. Are you getting it? Because yes, Obasanjo was Buhari's boss. So I'm sure that outside that boss-president relationship, he can also talk to him as a senior colleague. He has been president, and this was what he achieved. Obasanjo wanted debt relief. Only God knows how he got the inspiration to go and call our celebrity woman, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, to join that team. All right. So Obasanjo can call President Muhammadu Buhari and say, my brother and my friend, like Femi Fani-Kayode will always use, can you sit down? Look at where this country is going into. With this estimation, look at where the country might be in 2030. But we can avoid this kind of chaos. We can avoid this kind of comatose. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm sure President Muhammadu Buhari, with somebody like Yemi Osinbajo by his side, such good and welcoming advice will be taken by them. So I think at this point, we should stop concentrating more on what, who said what he said, but should look at critically whether what the person said was true.
Okay, they still on the letter from the presidency to Olusegun Obasanjo. He said, this president, this president of Buhari's presidency has run an administration focused on infrastructure and development. He has repaired our damaged relationship with neighbors and our traditional allies such as UK, US, China, Russia, France, Germany, Saudi Arabia, and others with lots of benefit for the country. It is a pro-business administration that has used diplomacy to unlock bilateral trade and investment. He leads a government that has liberalized the investment climate and market access by achieving reforms that have placed the country in the list of world top performing economies. And Nigeria, which other nations had mocked and ridiculed for so many things that were wrong, is today progressing at a pace reflecting its size and potential. With so much to show and many more coming, it is still surprised that President Buhari will be object of envy and harsh, unfair challenges by politicians who fail to deliver, but continue to nurse ambition of delighting the audience long after their curtain has been drawn. That's where we are.
Garba-Shehu is just doing his job.
But are you saying that the president have not done these things?
No, I was even trying to do a kind of commendation. In terms of infrastructure, give it to Buhari. He has done well. Okay? At least, I'm talking from the ones I have seen. This Enugu, Okigwe, Aba, Port Harcourt Expressway. Work is currently going on in those roads. At least, Aba axis has been Aba Umuahia axis have been fully completed. I'm not so sure about the Port Harcourt axis, whether it's fully completed. Now, the second Niger bridge, from what I see on the social media, it does appear serious works is going on.
Just the government not doing well.
This question is the government doing well? They are trying to do well. But have they met the expectation of Nigeria? A very big no.
Is there anybody that will meet all the expectations of Nigerians?
See, uneasy lies the head and wears the crown. Okay? The country has a major problem. Economic issues particularly. And we need an urgent solution to this. And it's expected for the government to do its best. When you are doing your best, definitely people will criticize you.
Okay, we have another comment from Emmanuel Sunday. He said, are they talking about Nigeria or Japan? I believe that was what I read last time. They're talking about Nigeria. Mr. Emmanuel Sunday, they are talking about Nigeria. They are talking about Nigeria. So let's now look at it. Do you think that former President Olusegun Obasanjo has the moral right to talk about Nigeria or to criticize the government when one way or the other he's implicated in one or two of these issues? In fact, he's one of those that supported the presidency of Muhammadu Buhari. Where did they fall out? Because people have said that Obasanjo like lording over people. Should that be one of the areas they fell out?
Maybe. Because this is not the first time I'm hearing that Obasanjo like lording over people. Okay? Nobody wants to be lord over, especially at that height. Alright? Obasanjo should understand that sometimes he should put himself in President Muhammadu's shoes. What would he have done differently? Okay? I believe at this point, comparison is not what we need. I expect President Obasanjo, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, General Yakubu Gowon, General Abdusalami Abubakar, what's the other one? All of them, the generals, they should all come together and go talk some sense to the current president. Mr. President, yes, you might say A, B, C, and D, we did not do well in our own time. But there is an urgent need. History will not be kind to us if we fail to speak when it mattered most. I think at this point, it has become necessary, especially judging from the fact that we are all gradually coming to the end of the pandemic. We are gradually trying to come up. All hands must be on deck, irrespective of what has happened in the past between our two. We may disagree politically, but let us not disagree economically, because the economy is the bane of which every other thing lies. Without a good economy, we can't have a good political system, because money is what we need to run everything. So at this point, we must unite, and the unity of all of us means that Nigerians are united. Whatever we speak, we do not speak in our capacity as former presidents. We speak in our capacity as Nigerians that want a better nation and that want your administration to succeed. The media thing is not working. Let us change. Let us try another.
Okay, we are coming close to the point where we will close our program for today, but comments are still coming in. We have Chimaroke Caleb Ufomba. He said he is not on the subject matter. Is PMB doing well? That is the question that most Nigerians are asking. Chimaroke is saying that Obasanjo is not on the subject matter, that the issue is PMB doing well. So, as we are winding down to today, let me ask you this question again, and I just need a simple and direct answer. Nigerians can actually know where you stand. Is the government of President Muhammadu Buhari doing well, just like Chimaroke asked?
For me, this is a personal opinion. They've not met my own personal expectations.
So, reviewing your contact with people, discussion with people, do you think there are people outside the world saying that yes, he has met our position?
Of course! I have a friend. I wouldn't want to mention his name. He's in full support of what Buhari is doing. He claims that Buhari is the best thing that has ever happened to Nigeria. So definitely, everybody must not like you. And everybody must not hate you. But talking of percentage, to be very honest, a lot of people are having the feeling that President Buhari is not doing well.
Okay, we want to thank you this wonderful morning for joining us on this show. We have more comments coming in. We have more comments. We have one KC King. He said, my brothers, let's be honest to ourselves. The current Nigerian constitution, even Jesus as president, Nigeria is irredeemable. That's what he's saying. We have another, the same Caleb Chimaroke said, please tell Kelechi to be open. He's saying, Kelechi, be more open. Be more open. Probably you are being more secretive. You're not opening up your mind. That's what he's saying. We have come to the end of today's program. We were discussing what is your take? What do you think? Do you think Nigeria is a failed state? Do you think Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world now? Just like Obasanjo has said, we want to know your opinion. Let the discussion continue. When we come back to the show, we will read out your positions. But don't fail to drop your comment when you watch this video. Let the discussion continue. Thank you, Kelechi, for joining us this morning.
It's always a pleasure.
Okay, let us see what again. The last thing Chimaoke said, he said, what is Kelechi's opinion? He's being political with the truth. That's what you're saying. We thank you. We thank you very much for joining us this morning. We're asking you to have a wonderful day. And make sure you drop your comment. We'll read it out later. Thank you and God bless you.